Hello, hello, my lovely people. Hope you all are having a fantastic day. And today we are talking about gig work and cancellation. Man, I'm telling you, it is a real thing out here. And I just want to share my experience because you know I do gig work. That's why most of y'all tuned into my channel. So, hey, let's jump right into the video. So, I have my notes. If you see me staring down, you see my little pen and paper. You know what I'm saying? Just making sure I follow everything through and make sure I don't miss nothing, okay? All right, so why are people getting deactivated on these apps? Let me tell you something. It has nothing to do with your completion. It has everything to do with your completion rate, okay? If you accept something and you are forever declining it or not fulfilling it or throwing it back in the app or inconveniencing the app, just like and think about it, if you at your regular job and your employer comes to you and asks you to do something, a task, and you always have and you never, they're going to get fed up with you eventually, right? That's the number one reason why people are getting deactivated from these apps, right? It has to do with your completion rate, okay? It has everything to do with your completion rate, okay? Not your acceptance rate. Now, a lot of times, it's depending on what type of app. I've done DoorDash. I've done Uber, Lyft, Spark. I'm now doing Amazon Flex. And there's one more that I'm thinking of. GoPuff. I'm sorry. Can't believe GoPuff. I haven't done GoPuff in so long. But it has nothing to do, deactivation has nothing to do with your acceptance. Now, if you stay inactive on those apps for a long period of time, I mean, it has to be a long extended amount of time, they will deactivate you, especially if it's time to renew certain stuff and you don't submit your insurance, your updated driver license, inspection if they require, if the app or company requires you to submit inspection report or anything updated, they will deactivate you. And you have to start all over from square one. So once you get into these platforms, these apps, these systems, try your best to stay in there. Do your best to stay up to par with them, because it is like starting all over when you have to resubmit your driving license, resubmit an application, resubmit all this stuff all over again. It's like pulling teeth and it's a headache. Um, and I wanted to share some of the things that people are telling me that they're aggravating about doing gig work, especially in where I'm at, talking about getting stuck at gates and waiting for the orders. Um, that's just part of it. When you delivering to consumers, you're delivering to wherever that consumer is, whether they work somewhere where they have they're in a secure location where you have to wait for the security officer to let you in, the security officer to let you up on the floor. That's just part of it, okay? I think sometimes we don't understand what all comes with our jobs and our responsibilities. We just look at this as like, oh, it's just easy way to make some money on the weekends or after work, or this is the way I'm making my money. This is the only way I can make my money. It's a lot of layers that come to this, okay? And that just happens to be one of the things that people mention about some of the things that they find challenging with doing gig work, okay? So that's just part of why people get aggravated. What can contribute to you getting deactivated? Like I said, your cancellation rates. You're not, leaving the orders. Like say if you do food delivery, if the customer asks you to deliver it a certain kind of way and you don't do that, and you continue doing that so many times, you can get deactivated. Okay, so you want to be mindful of following the orders. Like with Amazon Flex, I'm noticing that sometimes the customer asks to deliver a particular way or location, and I have to make sure I read the notes. I can't just look at the address and pull up at the house and okay, I'm gonna put it on the push. That's where I want to put it. No, if they say put it on this chair behind this big elephant with the pink flowers, that's where they ask you, because it's a reason for it. Maybe they've had theft. Maybe they have people that take their gifts, their deliveries. We don't know, but it's a reason. Or they just pick you like that. Okay, it is what it is. You're getting paid to provide a service for them through the company. Okay, so that's one reason why people are getting deactivated. Okay, another thing that may get you deactivated using these apps is multi-apping. So that's something I really never did until like my last year. Now I've been doing gig apps. I didn't even do when I did mainly rideshare. I never had Uber and Lyft on at the same time. It's just too confusing to me. Some people's brains can work like that, but me, I can't. So say I'm talking about the food apps, okay? Just think about food apps. Let's do one thing at a time. So I'm gonna write a note, make sure I don't forget the food apps. Or so what if you're doing Uber Eats and say another food app, and you thinking you could grab this food item and then grab this app, and then you think they're going that same way. Some people can do that. I can't. making the people's orders late or having to reroute the orders a lot of times can get you deactivated, okay? They can get you deactivated. Let's talk about rideshare. Rideshare is something that I did not do. I did not multi-app with rideshare. I did not feel like, okay, if I'm downtown in my area and I have Uber and Lyft on and I just want to stay in this little block, you could do that, but then what if that person changed their drop off in the while they're in your car? You know what I'm saying? Then that's pulling you out from what you thought you could do. You can't necessarily say, oh, well, I'm not doing all that. You got to get out. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of layers to it. You got to think about it. Maybe you could do that. I personally couldn't. For coming from a person who did gig work for numerous years, that's just not how my brain works. Okay? That's just not how my brain works. So they look at that as suspicious patterns. These apps do. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them are computer generated. So when they start seeing you going off route and doing, doing your own kind of way, they think of it suspicious. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting complaints, then that's one way for you to get deactivated. Okay. Also, I want to talk about running late. I mentioned that earlier about running late for Spark, Amazon Flex, DoorDash. They don't like you running late. Like, why is you running late? This stuff is down to a science. They know exactly how long it will take you to get to the location to pick the items up and drive to the location and drop them off. So if you want them type of person, like, shoot, you getting paid per task. So why try to make it longer than what it is? You want to get through it safely in the most accurate way that you possibly can. So why are you trying to prolong it? Just get it done. So like I said, that's another way to get you deactivated. Another thing that people talk about all the time, and I made a video about tip baiting. So say for DoorDash or for my previous experience with Spark, that's my video that some of y'all came to my channel about with Spark, how someone said my total was supposed to be like $30 and it was tip bait. Like say 15 of it was just tip and then I was rest with the left. I was left with the rest and then they changed their mind. So I didn't make that full $20, $30 that I thought I was gonna make. I only made X amount of dollars, and I did more work. So that's another thing that's frustrating when you do delivery apps. Okay, and now what I've experienced with Amazon Flex, they do have particular blocks of routes that you have a set price, and then the customer after you deliver it, they can give you a tip. From my parent, because I like to do a lot of them just to see which one I like. I already know kind of which ones I like to do. Sub same day. Them the ones in my jam. Like I say, when I start saying jam, that's my jam. Those are the ones I like to do. So the Amazon Fresh delivery ones, they have a set amount what they pay you plus tip. So what I've discovered, because I try to do a lot of them, the tip don't really be much. $5 maybe. Even the 1 hour ones, it just sometimes it may not be worth it. If you at the tail end, one thing I can tell you all with Amazon Flex, if you are at the tail end about to get your 40 hours and you don't see any routes to, like say you've been going hard and you don't want to go no harder, like these last little bit of hours to get you your 40 hours and you just want to do 1 hour trips, try to get well, how can I say this? Try to get the hour run towards the end of your 40 hours, if that makes sense, other than trying to get them at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because from my experience doing the 1 hour blocks for Amazon Flex, you have one package and you're going at least 40 minutes. 40 minutes for one package because they want it within an hour. So that means if someone's been on Amazon, they seen something they want, Amazon has it at the particular warehouse, you go to that particular warehouse, you're the driver, you pick it up and you take it to them and they have it within an hour, right? So, like I said, with Amazon Flex, you can only get 40 hours per week. On Walmart Spark, there's no cap. You can work as much as you want until the store. You can start when the store open up to the store closes. But you got a lot of wait times. According to what store and location you are, you're gonna have a lot of downtime. And so that's when you can turn on. That's when you could turn on Uber, Lyft. You know what I'm saying? Because you're staying kind of sort of in the area. But you got to think about it. If you're doing Uber and Lyft, same thing about, multi-apping. If you're doing Uber and Lyft and say Walmart Spark, you driving somebody to the location, you just literally pick that person up like within 5 minutes of driving and you get a Walmart Spark order. Sometimes it's the Walmart Spark orders are wanting you to go to be heading to the store right then and there, and it can see if you're not heading to that store. And I'm like, oh, we noticed that you're not heading to the store. So that's why I said, if you want a multi-app Jesus, be mindful of what you putting on yourself, the added stress that you putting on yourself to be trying to do all these different things, okay? And we want you all to be safe. We all want you to be so safe, okay? Also, I got on here about background checks. They do run background checks. So if you have had speeding tickets, parking tickets, a accident, and they pull and you in the middle of getting your stuff reran again, it's anywhere between 6 to 12 months you can get deactivated. Like, yeah, it's very important because they want to make sure you're still a safe driver. So don't think, okay, then it'll never catch up with you, because it will. They'll find out that you've been careless or reckless, or maybe it was not your fault. I try to, or even insurance, they'll know if you don't have insurance on your car. So try to be mindful. That's one way you can get deactivated. Yeah, and always make sure you follow their GPS. Sometimes that might be your city. You from the city, that's your city, and you want to go your way. No, please go the way the GPS tells you. And like always, that's the end of my video. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. I do have a Connect With Me phone number. I will add to this video down in the description down below. Also, check out my Amazon storefront. I do have a lot of helpful items that I use on me day by day. These are items I've purchased and I use, and I think they can help my community, my lovely people, my folks, my tribe. And that's it for this video. So if you're wondering, you're trying to not get deactivated, this is summer months. It's time the kids about to go back to school before you know it. So you might have to start preparing for back to school supplies, clothes, or you might be trying to get your bills together for the winter months, because the utilities go up in the winter. I'm just being for real with y'all. It just is what it is. Or maybe you're in the process of trying to move. Your lease about to be up. So come August, you got to start getting all this extra money up for the first month deposit. Life be life. Real stuff. On my channel, we deal with real stuff. It's not no la stuff over here. But yeah, that's all I have to add for today. And thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more.